morning, everybody. My name is Hunter Williams. I serve on the Birmingham City Council. I represent District 2 for the city of Birmingham, but I come today not only as a representative of the city of Birmingham, but also a business owner in Jefferson County. You know, we've spent the last 2 weeks in Montgomery talking to legislators about Senate Bill 330, its implications on what it has locally to this system, also implications what it has from a statewide perspective, and the precedent that it sets, but implications that go further than that. National implications about takeover of local boards, local agencies like water, utility districts, gas districts, electrical cooperatives, and so many other things that municipalities put in place for its citizens and ratepayers. You know, when I grew up, I kind of got taught that, you know, the Democratic Party is a party that sees issues and tries to solve those issues with different types of government intervention. And the Republican Party was a party that saw the issues but thought that from a solving standpoint that it is better done on a local level, whether that be the state, if we're talking about the federal government, or even a more localized level, whether it be a school board, if it's education, or a local utility water board like we're talking about today. This kind of goes in the face of everything that I understood our parties were advocating for. When we talk about economic development in Jefferson County, it is so important to realize the implications that this will have going forward. The ace in the hole that we have in economic development in Birmingham and Jefferson County is that when new industry wants to come to our community, to our county, to central Alabama, we are able to supply them with one of the greatest needs that they have, and that is organized utilities so that they can come and plant their operations here in our backyard. What this does is it puts control in Montgomery, where we do not want them deciding what economic development and what decisions can be made over 150 miles away in Montgomery. It creates conflicts of interest because not only can elected people appoint themselves or other elected people, and it doubles the salary of the board, which is completely unacceptable to ratepayers, but it also allows people that might have other interests than development in Birmingham and Jefferson County to stifle that, to hold that back so that they can have that development potentially in their own backyard in an area where they have ties and they represent. It also goes to show that, look, we're not the only organization that can be taken over by the state, restructured the board by the state so that it can serve state interest instead of local interest. These are the local interests that built this utility. The city of Birmingham, without a doubt, built this utility and expanded it as other municipalities asked to come on board because they did not have the financial wherewithal to create their own water system. Now, we know that there has been issues with this utility in years past, but we're very proud of this current board and everything that they have done to overcome the issues that are at hand. And they've done an amazing job, and I'm very excited to see the progress that they have made. You know, when we talk about larger intervention, it's only typically because of insolvency or non-potable drinking water. You know, we saw that in Flint, Michigan. We've seen that in other areas, and maybe it is appropriate for a state takeover or a larger takeover or assistance from the federal government at that time. But when you have some of the cleanest drinking water in the United States, and you have a utility that is solvent, that is doing well, that has restructured debt in a positive way to save the ratepayers millions of dollars a year, you have a very well-performing utility. It's become somewhat of a grab in Montgomery, and it sets a precedent, not only in the state of Alabama that this could happen in any different municipality, district, gas district, water board, whatever, but it also brings the question is this constitutional? Should this be happening on a national level? Should national capitals in all 50 states be able to take something that is performing well, that is serving its citizens, so that that local jurisdiction, that local municipality cannot do what it needs to do for economic development? You know, like I said, I grew up, you know, learning about the differences between Republicans and Democrats when it comes to these types of principles. And one thing that I really can relate to and really understand as a business owner is the efficiencies of private and local government. It's local government that understands the needs of its people. They're closest to the people. But every time you get bigger, every time you get out a level outside of that bubble, inefficiencies come up, different type of political actions come up that are not in the best interest for those local people. And my biggest concern is that we have seen state Republicans get away from what the Republican Party has traditionally stood for in the state of Alabama. And I hope that that precedent does not follow on a national level, because the Republican Party believes in local control. The Republican Party believes that the best way to solve issues is have those involved in the issues solve it. So while we are sitting here today, or standing here with all of the great men and women that serve on both the board as well as work for this utility and work every day to make sure that we have some of the cleanest water in the United States, make sure that we are a well-run and solvent organization, we are addressed with this aggressive Senate Bill 330 that changes the control out of local hands, like the people that you see here today, and puts it down in Montgomery, our state capital, where we all know is abound with inefficiencies and unacceptable behavior that we do not want to see here controlling this board.